Hey, this is dwburman, and I just wanted to try something in LightWave and thought I'd bring you all along with me on this little journey into stupidity. I apologize for the audio quality. I do have a much better microphone, but I don't feel like getting it set up, so I'm just using this cheap USB headset that sounds terrible. So hopefully, uh, won't sound too terrible. It'll sound like all my other videos before I got the nice microphone. But I need to make an asteroid for this project I'm working on. It's kind of a cartoony thing. I figured I would try using something that most people don't know it exists, or if they know it exists, they've just never used it. Draw metaballs. This is a weird little thing. I can click in here and change the size, and you see it changes the size of this little blob over there. I was trying to grab that handle, but I accidentally clicked and made a whole separate blob. And what this does is makes this other little blob of a ball. Let me say change to textured wire. There's no wireframe there. If I move these together, you'll notice they actually join together. So these are, I don't remember what they call them, not like meta-NURBs. There have been a couple of names. There have been a few modeling programs that tried to use this type of method. But what I want to do is I'm just trying to make some generic, roughly asteroid shape. I keep on accidentally creating new things is kind of the problem. So that's kind of roughly the shape I want. And now hit enter, and that makes it. And you see I just have a bunch of points. That doesn't really help. I don't remember if LightWave will actually render that or not. But if I hit Control D, I get this really junky looking geometry. Isn't that lovely? Anyway, let's see if I can clean this up a bit by, let's do a merge points and set the fixed, and I don't even know what my scale is here. I'll try 10 millimeters. 16 points eliminated. 50 millimeters. 100 millimeters. There we're getting some headway. I should probably just use decimate. There we go. Now let's clean up some of that junk geometry we made. I'll delete the individual vertices, or the one vertex polygons and the two vertex polygons. And now we have this. I can take care of some of these manually. See, that's going to be a problem. There's a couple of things. Oh, that looks like it was actually doing something. Control T for drag tool. I like the drag tool because it's one of those things about LightWave I like, where you don't have to select a point in order to move it around. You can just click on it and move it. It's handy in some situations. So anyway, there are lots of ways I could have just made this weird little shape. If I see what happens when I put it in subpatch mode. Yeah, some really nasty looking geometry. Let's Control T to, or is it Shift T? Yeah, Shift T to triangle, make everything a triangle. Looks like it already was. Let's go over to Construct and merge triangles. And let's select our faces and make them into subpatches. So this is not very good geometry. You wouldn't want to do much with this. I can clean up a little bit if I want. I'll just select those 2 points, merge them together, select these 2 points, merge them together by weld, using the weld tool. And yeah, again, this is not a highly recommended modeling method for great geometry, but for what I want to do, which is just make a couple of really quick asteroids, we'll do this. We'll save this. So let's say save as asteroid. I'll repeat the process again on another layer. And let's see if I can actually find the keyboard or the menu items for this so you can follow along this time. Let's try Polygons, draw metaballs. Click to place it down, grab this handle to scale it up or down, click elsewhere to make another one. I'll put one in this other view so I have a different angle, and let's see. I didn't really want to do that, but we'll keep it anyway. We'll move that over here. There we go. We have a new blobby thing. Hit enter. That gives us our points. Let's see what happens if I move these around. T, I did select at that time. T, let me get it wrong. Control T. Yep, that does still work. I should probably try to see if I could render this in LightWave, but in layout, but I'm not going to. Let's see, is it multiply? I want freeze. It's like I just know it's like Control D. Construct, freeze. There we go. Again, really nasty. Let's try decimate this time, or reduce polys plus, I guess. 0.25. There we go. That actually makes something on the next layer over. So I'm just going to delete that original. Hit tab to put it into subpatch mode. Let's merge triangles. And that the new triangles it makes are not subpatched. So click faces and set subpatch, or just click subpatch, convert to subpatch. There we go. So now we have two subpatched objects for asteroids. So I'm going to hit save. That'll save it. I'm going to send this to layout, send object to layout. And let's switch to perspective camera. Zoom in. There you can see our two objects. I did not actually give them proper names or surface names, so let's go back to modeler and take care of that now. Q asteroid, and then Q to set surface, asteroid again, save, back to layout, surface editor, pop that up over here, turn smoothing on for asteroid. Looks like it's not catching all of that one for some reason, but I almost don't care, because these are what they are. I'm going to use, let's look at simple cell shader, super cell shader. Looks like I might have some cleanup on that other one. Is that the one that we didn't do? Is that the one we did a whole bunch of stuff to? Or is this is the reduced poly one? So we have some issues on this one. Merge some points. Don't really have to do that. Delete these vertices, save, switch to layout. Yeah. That one, I don't like the way it seems to be having issues, so I'm going to delete that one. Okay. Let's add some surface texture onto this. Does supercell shader allow for textures? Not really. Okay, it does. Just not exactly the way I was intending. I probably want to do it over here anyway. Onto the color channel. Yeah, let's do that. Make it a kind of a gray, brownish tinted one, but darker. And I'm going to right click on that color swatch. I'm going to change this to a different texture. I don't want that. I want to make it Crumple. Automatic sizing. No, that's too big. 0.2, 0.5. Invert layer. Not digging that. 222. It's not crust, because crust looks like that. I think it was crumple, which I think is generally good for rocks, but maybe not so much in this case. We're going to go with it anyway. This is just going to be a background element. I don't want it to be specular at all. So it's not actually specular. By the way, right-clicking in this switches between RGB and HSV, hue saturation value. Right-clicking and dragging on the swatch actually changes the brightness value. So let's do that. Let's turn the diffuse down. I want it to be bumpy a little bit more, so I'm going to copy this texture. I'm going to paste it in the bump. Actually, I like using the node editor a lot for stuff, but in this case, I'm just using this. Now, under the object properties, I'm going to go to the deform tab and turn on enable bump and just try raising this a bit and see what happens. Let's see. I don't think I need it to be that dense of the geometry, so I'll just do 2 subpatches. And subdivision order, we'll try last. I think first will probably work better. Yeah. Here we go. It's a rather lumpy rock. To make it fit into my cartoon universe, I'm going to add a silhouette edge on it. I'm not doing a straight black outline though, so let's make it a blue. Let me switch to my other object to grab the outline from that. Right click on the swatch, switch back to my asteroid, hold down control, right click on that swatch, that'll match that edge. Make this a little thicker. Shrink edges with distance, make this 20 meters just because. And there we have a friendly little asteroid floating in space. Now let's make a whole asteroid field out of this. I'm going to create a null. Asteroid field. Now in the asteroid field, I'm going to open the properties, instancer, instance generator, double click that, add object. Let's make our asteroid layer 1 the object we want to do. Select it. Make a rectangular array, I guess. There's a whole bunch of them. Let's make it a radial array. Instances 48, radius. I think what I want to do is something entirely different. Now, that would be an interesting thing. Let's set this to particles. And under the, still in the asteroid field, null, I'm going to add particle effects to emitter. I'm going to add emitter to it. Double click this, set the birth rate to frame. And let's make this 53 because I don't know why. So that'll generate 53 particles on the first frame. We want these to last forever, so I'm just going to make the lifetime 0 because computers are intuitive that way. Generator size, let's increase this to 10, 10, 10. Definitely needs to be much bigger than that. So 100, 100, 100, still too small, and that's way too many. So let's try 15. Oh, because I didn't set my particle limit. There we go. I have a bunch of potatoes floating in space. That's great. Let's change our size to 1,000. And then we'll change our birth rate to 53, because I have no idea why 53. And okay, now we have our particles floating in space, our instances on the particles, and our potato asteroid. Let's make some changes on the scale to minimum 5% and maximum, I'm sorry, I should make that 50%. Maximum 300%, so there's variation in size. We'll do a little bit of stretching, I guess. Let's turn that off. Offset, I don't care about. Rotate, random. Let's just type in 360 on all of these. Can't type now, it's late. I could have these rotating, I suppose. But I'm not going to worry about that for this. I just want to get it done. Let's go back to the first frame. We have the asteroid field set up, perspective. Let me zoom out. There's everything. T for move. I'm going to move my asteroid field around, in theory. Let's turn VPR off. Okay, let's zoom out a bit. Kind of want it to be off to the side a bit more, like that. We're not actually going. Well, maybe we'll have the ship going through it. See what that looks like. Camera view. That's way too close, although it looks cool. Oh, that's our original one. Let's scene editor. Open that up. I'm going to find my asteroid here, and I'm going to uncheck the active column and hide that. So now we don't see that. Now we only have the instances. And it gives us a little something more interesting in the shot. So there's our asteroid field. And there's shot. Maybe there could be more asteroids. Let's make that 200 and change our width to 2 kilometers. Nope. 2 kilometers. They're flying way too fast, way too close to these asteroids. Okay, so yeah, sorry for this little long rambling video. I did a whole lot more than I intended to. I was just going to make a couple little asteroids using a tool I almost never use. But yeah, there you go. Guess I could have just as easily have done this with a hypervoxel thing, but there you go. A use for a tool you maybe didn't even remember existed. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little foray into LightWave fun, and have a great day.